Good morning, everyone. For our welcoming hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1023, Building Bridges. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Good morning. Good morning. Does it seem like we're an hour late? I'm expecting all of us to be very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after a Dodgers win. Maybe? No? Okay. That's okay. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Fullerton, California, an inclusive community dedicated to building a better world. Whoever you are, however you identify, we want to make this space one where you feel like you belong instead of having to fit in. Any way that we can do that, that is our goal. And it is not a goal that we have just met. We will continue to grow and do that and become more welcoming and a safer community for all. UUCF acknowledges that this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Ahachiman, the Kizh, and the Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. Before we begin, got a couple of brief announcements for you. November 14th through the 16th is our UUCF retreat weekend. How many of you are going? We need more. We need more. All UU members, friends, singles, couples, families are all invited to attend. It is a wonderful way to get to know each other better and build a community spirit. There will be singing. Ooh, look at the picture. Okay, there will be singing and hiking and children's activities and workshops and relaxing. The food is fabulous, and you don't even have to cook it yourself or wash the dishes. If you need financial assistance, please contact me or Dale Botts, and all requests are confidential. We would just want to make sure that you get to be part of this wonderful weekend. And a big thanks to our men's group who collected $470.25 at last week's ice cream social to go support our campership fund. Okay, this Tuesday, November 4th, a big day, right? We have our election, and it is also the next Fullerton City Council meeting, where they are expected to vote for funding to support local immigrant families. Let's fill the room with people wearing white shirts to show our support. The meeting starts at 5:30. Next Saturday, a special fundraiser at 4 in the afternoon, a performance of Life After War, written and performed by Ingrid Garner. We'll also have raffle items. Tickets $20 and are available at the door. A portion of the proceeds will support Camino Immigrant Services. Today, during our offering time, we will receive a Share the Plate offering for the island nation of Jamaica, providing relief and recovery to those who have been impacted by this horrific storm. 100% of all the unpledged giving we receive will go to AmeriCares, providing hurricane relief. Please give generously. My father and I had a chance to go down there after Hurricane Gilbert on a mission trip because my dad's a doctor. And we were able to spend 2 weeks of time with some wonderful people during that horrific time. And now they're going through it a second time with a storm that is actually worse. So please give. The people there are beautiful and wonderful and deserve our love and our attention. Our caring listener this week is Debbie Langenbacher. You can speak with Debbie after the service if you have any concerns or just need someone to talk to with no judgment, and it's confidential. We'll be sharing joys and sorrows a little bit later in the service, so if you're in the sanctuary, the slips are in the back. They are pink in color. Just fill those out before a time for all ages. Those of you on Zoom or Facebook, if you could get those joys, sorrows, or concerns in a little earlier before a time for all ages so that we can get to you on time this week. We'll make up for last week and give some more joys and concerns. Okay, 1 to 2 minutes to say hello before we start our worship service.
month we picked We Sing Now Together. We sing now together our song of thanksgiving, rejoicing in goods which the ages have wrought. For life that enfolds us and helps and holds and heals and holds us and leads beyond the goals our forebears once sought. We sing of the prophets, the teachers, the dreamers, designers, creators, and workers and seers, our own lives expanding, our gratitude commanding. Their deeds have made immortal their days and their years. We sing of community now in the making, in every far continent, region, and land, with those of all races, all times, and names, and places. We pledge ourselves in covenant firmly to stand. The Soul Matters theme for November is Nurturing Gratitude. This beautiful hymn, with its well-known tune, Kremser, which owes its origin to a 16th century Dutch folk song, which was combined with another Dutch hymn by, and please, I hope no one here speaks Dutch, Adrianus Valerius Nederlands, and I'm not even going to try, published in 1626, expresses gratitude through themes of the transcending mystery and wonder of life, harvest and thanksgiving, gratitude for those who expand our lives, world community, and our desire to be in covenant with one another. And now, we sing now together.
Please rise in body or spirit. Be seated. I now invite Christina to light the chalice. Come in from the crisp morning air outside. Come in wearing the autumn sunlight on your face. Come carrying the turning of the seasons in your heart. Whatever and however the greatness of life is speaking to you now, you are welcome here in our circle of friends. Please join with me in saying our unison affirmation on the screen. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need. Thus do we covenant with one another.
Good morning. It's our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal care items for Pathways of Hope, our local food bank. Can you check your dates on your items before you bring them in, because we are unable to donate any items with expired dates. But now as the children come forward, they'll notice that there are food sacks waiting in the aisles, and if you could collect those donations, bring them up for Time for All Ages. Thank you.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Hello? Hello. Oh, it's there. Hello, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love all of your charms on your Crocs. I'm so jealous. Hi everyone, my name is Megan Watson. I am the team coordinator here at UUCF. This is Joy Ellis, our elementary coordinator teacher. I don't know what we are. I just wanted, before we get started, I wanted to give a big shout out to all the cool teens that are too cool for school to come up here, but they helped make these beautiful papel picado, which is a traditional Mexican art form. They made those last week, and we strung those up, and they did a really good job. I was very impressed. So today is the second day of Dia de los Muertos, and that is, Josie, I love your outfit. Excellent. Joy, can you hold this up? Do any of you know the name of this person, picture, thing? Josie, what is? Oh, it is La Catrina. This is a very, very famous image. You might see it all around during this time of the year, but a lot of people don't know the history of this image. I didn't even know the history of this image before I looked it up. So I want to share with you guys where this picture comes from, how she's become so important to Day of the Dead in Mexican and Mexican American culture. And it's actually way more recent than I thought. So the date is April 13th, 1944. Thousands of people are clashing with the police on the steps of the Art Institute of Chicago. A massive, impatient art crowd overwhelmed the museum, causing mayhem. That's how desperately people wanted to see the US premiere of an art exhibit called Posada, Printmaker to the Mexican People. The exhibition featured the prints of Jose Guadalupe Posada, a Mexican engraver who had died in 1913. On display were his calaveras, the satirical skull and skeleton illustrations he made for Day of the Dead, which he printed on cheap, single-sheet newspapers known as broadsides. One specific calavera, or skull, attracted more attention than the others. Known as La Catrina, she was a skeleton with a wide, toothy grin and an oversized feathered hat. A large print of her hung on the museum's walls. Audiences saw her featured in the museum's promotional materials. She was even the cover girl of the exhibit's catalog. Back in Mexico, though, virtually unknown. Nobody knew who she was. But the US exhibition made La Catrina an international sensation. Today, La Catrina is Posada's most recognizable creation. She's the icon of Day of the Dead. Her face is endlessly reproduced during the holiday. But when he first engraved her in 1912, she wasn't even called La Catrina. In the original print, she's Calavera Garbancera, a title used to refer to indigenous peasant women who sold garbanzo beans at the street markets. Posada illustrated her in over-the-top attire to satirize the way that the Garbanceras attempted to pass as upper class by powdering their faces and wearing fashionable French attire. So even from the beginning, La Catrina was transcultural, a rural indigenous woman adopting European customs to survive in a mixed-race city. But there was nothing particularly significant about Calavera Garbancera. Like her creator, she remained obscure for many years. Her fame truly didn't arrive until Posada's riotous debut at the Art Institute in 1944. The exhibition was a collaboration between the museum and the Mexican government, and it was facilitated by a special White House propaganda agency used to increase our solidarity with Latin America during World War II. In 1947, artist Diego Rivera further immortalized La Catrina when he made her the center of one of his most famous murals. His fame and her newfound fame inspired Mexican and Mexican-American artists to incorporate her into their works too. Folk artists in Mexico began fashioning her into ceramic toys, papier-mâché figures, other crafts sold during Day of the Dead. Mexican Americans utilized La Catrina in their murals, paintings, and political posters as part of the Chicano movement, which pushed for Mexican American civil rights in the 60s and 70s. Posada probably never expected his female Cavalera to become so famous. He merely wanted to use his traditional Day of the Dead humor to make fun of the flamboyantly dressed women he saw hanging around Mexico City's Central Plaza. Today, during Dia de los Muertos, that same Central Plaza is filled with hundreds of La Catrina impersonators who, for a few dollars, will pose for photographs with tourists, all too willing to pay for such a traditional, cultural experience with an authentic Day of the Dead icon. Posada, meanwhile, is likely laughing somewhere in the land of the dead. Thank you for listening to the story of La Catrina, and now we're going to continue that conversation in your classrooms.
Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to meet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to greet a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
Wonderful to see so many new children's faces up there this morning. That is a big joy. It is now time for our joys, our concerns, and our sorrows. Invite Christina to come up once again. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns for the larger world. Our wish for peace and justice, our hopes for the children who will inherit this planet, our hopes that those who are hungry will be fed. May this candle represent all these wishes and calls to action that are more than we can articulate in this space. This is a concern from Sean Thomas. Please light a candle in memory of my mom who passed away 49 years ago on November 3rd, and in memory of President Carter, who was elected on that same day. Our hearts are with you. This is a joy and a sorrow from Natalie. My aunt has died and joined my mom and my grandmas. Also, the jack-o'-lantern light literally pulled me out of chaos, focused me on love and humbleness, and pointed me in the direction I needed to serve. This from Erin O'Donnell, a joy. Evie had her surgery on Wednesday and is doing well. We miss you all and hope to see you next week. A joy from last week that we didn't get to from Patrick Mannion. Had a great road trip with my son Kenny. We drove to Chicago where he will now live and create lots of memories. They created some of their own while there. Looking forward to seeing everybody when I get back from Portugal in a few weeks. A joy from Debbie and Bruce Reebok. Our daughter Jen and her partner Olson are engaged. Mazel tov to both of them. I wanted to get it right. And a final one for Judith and Al. It may be 2 weeks late, but I wanted Al to be here as well to congratulate them on 31 years of marriage. And didn't you all meet here? Did you meet here? Is this how you met? At UUCF in general. Yes. Congratulations to you both. We now light one more candle for all those joys, concerns, and sorrows that remain unexpressed but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join me in saying the affirmation. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
For our next hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 318, We Would Be One. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit, and join us in singing.
Would you join me now in a spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer? These are challenging times in our world. May this time of meditation be an opportunity to touch peace within ourselves, to tap new springs of courage, resolve, and hope. We know that none of us alone can hold all that must be held or do all that must be done. But may each of us be led toward that work which is ours to do. And as a community, may we feel our strength together and use it for good as best we can. In this spirit, we name our concern for this land and for its people and for the people of the world. For refugees, we wish safe harbor. For all immigrants who fear for their safety and the safety of their families and loved ones, may they be well and safe. For journalists and scientists, attorneys and public servants, and for so many others who are offering truth and wisdom in a time of need, we give thanks. For all the ordinary people who are rising to the occasion, we give thanks. May all who are moved to action in these times, clear and strong and compassionate in their response. Our reading today is entitled Seeking Mercy, Seeking Home by Erica Hewitt. For many reasons, people depart. They leave home or the places given to them in place of home that might have been lost to war, and they seek refuge from 1,000 dangers and uncertainties. For many reasons, many of them inconceivable to us who live in relative peace and prosperity. People can't stay where they are in the places they know. They give up their sense of belonging. They surrender the climate and food and sounds and smells that their bodies have always known for the new, the unfamiliar, the harsh, and the unlearnable. So for themselves and for their children, they trade what they know for the unknown and the foreign. If you are wondering what you can do to help, you're doing something when you allow your heart to tear over the scope of human suffering. You're doing something when you step beyond your experience to acknowledge that we cannot know, and hopefully will never know, what it's like to make these harrowing decisions. You're doing something when you interrupt a conversation to say, no human being is illegal. It's not kind or civil to talk about people that way. And you're doing enough when you use the language of reverence and interdependence to describe our global community. For so many reasons, people depart. What deep respect these refugees, asylees, and immigrants deserve for their courage, for their capacity to keep moving forward toward hope.
Last week, we talked about the other being monsters, ghouls, spirits. The problem is as we go into an election day on Tuesday, the other, when it comes to human beings, are being painted as monsters, when they are in fact our siblings. I want to start with one of them and her story. It was a spring morning in San Antonio when 11-year-old Jalissa Arce stepped off a Greyhound bus and into a new life. She remembers the heat rising from the pavement, the smell of tortillas from a nearby taqueria, and her mother's voice calling her name in a rush of joy. They hadn't seen each other in years, and the air shimmered with possibility. What Jalissa didn't know that morning was that the visa that brought her here would expire. What she didn't yet understand was that before long, she would become invisible. At 14, she found out she was undocumented. Imagine that. Being a teenager, already just trying to do those teenage things of fitting in and being chosen for dodgeball and going to prom, and then learning that your very presence, your future, is a secret. She learned to hold her breath in certain moments, to step back when friends applied for driver's licenses or college age or jobs that needed identification. And still, she worked harder. She went to University of Texas, graduated with honors, and somehow landed an internship at Goldman Sachs in the heart of Wall Street. She was brilliant. Only in her 20s, and by the time in her mid-20s, she was a vice president of the company. climbing the glass tower each morning in a black suit and heels, passing through metal detectors, badge scanners, conference rooms filled with light and glass and ambition. But every day she carried a quiet terror. What if they find out about me? She said being undocumented is a very lonely experience. The success everyone saw on the outside was held together with fear on the inside. And yet through all of it, she carried her parents' faith in her. Their belief that crossing borders, breaking laws of geography for the sake of love and opportunity was sacred work. And she held on to that. Years later, Julissa became a U.S. citizen. She left banking and began to tell her story publicly. Can you imagine that courage, that vulnerability, that chance that she took? She became an advocate for immigrants, especially those living in the shadows she once knew. In her memoir, she asked the question that haunts the heart of our nation. What is the cost of the American dream? But maybe for us, sitting here today, the deeper question is, what is the cost of forgetting that the dream belongs to all of us? Each of us has known what it feels like to be out of place in one situation or another, to be the new face in the room, the outsider at the table, the last one picked for dodgeball. We've known the quiet ache of not being fully seen or fully welcomed or affirmed. And yet we also know the healing power of an open door, a kind gesture, a place set for us, even when we didn't expect it. So today we reflect on a simple ancient commandment. It's simple. It's as old as the days are long, or the nights are long now. Welcome the stranger. Not just to tolerate. We tolerate flies in our face. Not simply to make space, but to welcome. As we face a world in which immigration is politicized, borders are weaponized, and refugees are treated with suspicion, we turn to spiritual traditions that call us to act with compassion and courage. So today I want to introduce or reintroduce four powerful spiritual voices: Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, and indigenous traditions in North America, Central America, and South America, to help us understand that welcoming the stranger is not just a moral duty. I mean, it is, but it is also a sacred act. For you were strangers in the land of Egypt. The Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, in the Jewish faith is clear and commanding in its teaching. One of its most repeated commandments is from the 22nd chapter of Exodus, verse 21. You shall not wrong or oppress a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. This is not a one-time suggestion. It is a core ethic In fact, this commandment appears, get this, more than 36 times in the Torah. The Jewish people are instructed not to forget their own history as immigrants, refugees, as outsiders. In ancient Israel, the stranger referred not just to travelers, but to the ger, the resident other, if you will. Those who lived among the people but did not share their religion or their heritage. These strangers were to be protected, loved, and given justice under the law. In the book of Leviticus, we read, "The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. You shall love them as yourself." This is radical inclusion. It is not just about charity, it is about solidarity, where the stranger is not the other. The stranger is not a monster. It's a reminder that the stranger is us. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. The message continues in the Christian tradition. In the New Testament, in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus speaks powerfully where people are separated not by belief, but by how they treated others. He says in Matthew, "I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me." And then the people asked him, when did we see you as a stranger and welcome you? He replies, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, you did it to me." Welcoming the stranger is not an optional act of kindness in the Christian faith. It is a central part of living in right relationship for Christians with God. To turn away the immigrant, the refugee, the outsider, is in this parable to turn away from the divine itself. The early Christian communities knew this deeply. The letter to the Hebrews reminds them in Hebrews, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing that, some have entertained angels unaware." Hospitality is not just about etiquette, it is a form of spiritual discernment. It is the recognition that the stranger may carry wisdom and blessing and restoration. No one is outside the circle of compassion. Buddhism, too, offers profound guidance. At the heart of the Buddha's teaching in the practice of compassion, it extends to all beings without boundary. In the Metta Sutta, the Buddha teaches even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings. This includes those we do not know, those who do not speak our language, those who do not believe like us, love like us, and those who are unfamiliar to us. There is a concept in Mahayana Buddhism known as interbeing, taught by the late Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. He reminds us that we are deeply connected. There is no us. There is no them. He writes, "We are here to awaken from the illusion of our separateness." If we understand this, we cannot see immigrants or refugees as others. Their suffering is our suffering. Their struggle is ours. When they knock on the door, we are called not just to open it, but to recognize our shared humanity. The illusion of borders disappears. Buddhism teaches that welcoming the stranger is not a burden. It is a liberation from the small self that fears and excludes. Native American traditions, we belong to the land and to each other. So let's listen to the wisdom of indigenous traditions, many of which do not even have the concept of immigration in the way modern nation states do. For many indigenous peoples, the land is not something to be owned, to be conquered, or divided by in lines. It is something sacred, shared, and alive. Among the Lakota people, there is a phrase often used in prayer and greeting. It translates in English to, all my relations, or we are all related. This is a worldview with a deep affirmation that humans, our animals, our ancestors, the earth, and yes, even strangers are part of the great web of belonging. Many Native nations practice forms of hospitality that welcomed newcomers with ceremony and story and shared resources, not without deep discernment, but with deep spiritual awareness that relationship comes before ownership. Then you contrast this with how indigenous peoples were treated as we celebrate Thanksgiving this month. By settlers who came not as strangers seeking relationship, but as conquerors seeking dominion. The painful irony is that those who were not welcomed, who were displaced and dispossessed, had long traditions of welcoming others with open hearts. In this way, Native traditions remind us the question is not who belongs here. The question is, how can we live as if we all belong to each other? And let's now go back to Unitarian Universalism. This living tradition. Unitarian Universalism is a living faith, drawing wisdom from many sources. We do not have a single scripture or a single prophet. We have many. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person and the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. And these are not abstract principles. Let's turn away from the fact that these just hang on a wall or in a booklet or on our promotional materials. It is time that we live these as we put them up on our mirror, the first thing we see in the morning as we go into this difficult world, and look at it as we go to sleep wondering what tomorrow will bring us. They call us, these values, these principles, to see immigrants not as threats to be managed, but as people to be embraced. Families, children, elders carrying stories of pain and dreams. People crossing borders because they don't have a choice. People who deserve not only legal rights, but a spiritual welcome. In 2018, the Unitarian Universalist Association affirmed a strong stance in support of immigrant justice, including sanctuary, to be accompanied and to be advocated for. Many of our congregations have become sanctuary spaces offering physical refuge to those threatened with deportation. This is holy work, but there is a long road ahead. We live in a time when borders are defended with walls and weapons, where asylum seekers are treated as criminals. And we see this and hear this every single day. Where politicians speak of immigrants as invasions, but no border can erase our shared humanity. When we welcome the stranger, we are not just offering help, we are affirming something essential about ourselves. We are saying fear does not have the final word. Love does. We are saying we remember our own histories as immigrants, exiles, and seekers. We are saying we are ready to build a world where everyone belongs. So be it.
At UUCF, we embrace the possibility of a world that's filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. Today, we are sharing the plate with the people of Jamaica through the organization called AmeriCares. 100% of your non-pledged giving will be going for relief and recovery from Hurricane Melissa. There's a basket being brought around on the sanctuary, and then there are also payment options on the screens. Whatever you're able to give today is received with special gratitude, and we thank you for your generosity.
We had to play Woody Guthrie. The Given. So to review, in Judaism we are told, love the stranger as yourself. In Christianity, we are told when you welcome the stranger, you welcome the divine. In Buddhism, we are told compassion must include all beings. In Native American traditions, we are told all are related, none are outside the circle. And in Unitarian Universalism, we are told, let us build a beloved community where none is excluded. So may we go forward with courage, not just to open doors, but to tear down the walls and to open up our hearts, to welcome not only the stranger, but the sacred that lives in each of them, to create a faith and a world where no one stands alone. We now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Let us remember that on Election Tuesday. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so we say together, Amen, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 170. We are a gentle, angry people. Please rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing. Now please join us for our social hour.